Yeah, no kidding, because we're live.
Hey,
That's
we're
what
there.
he said.
What?
Why would he say that?
Oh, good thing
Why
I
would he
had
say
it up. Yes.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's his dick.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
There you go.
glad he needs to say that to his partner and not just show it.
Well, I don't know what exactly happened. He could have showed it too, and then said it.
It's a weird power dynamic that couple has.
True.
Like,
Anyways, how y'all doing?
aren't you glad I didn't say banana?
Oh
Oh,
God,
I don't know. There's something there.
that's what he said.
Happy New
Yes.
Year's.
yes.
Soon to be New Year's. The
So
New
we did
Year's
it.
We made it to the end of the
episode.
year. I'm so tired
Yeah.
of the year.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I don't expect a whole lot to change. I'm one of those people that's like kind of against New Year's resolutions. If you're gonna make a change, just do it. So it's not like after midnight tonight, it's gonna be drastically different. That's
Yeah.
No, I'm the same. I'm just like, you know what? New Year traditions they don't really work. Just make a small change, and that'll usually have staying power.
Yeah.
I realized a couple months ago that this will be the first year I don't have to deal with annoying gym New Year's resolutioners using all of the like machines and equipment at the gym that I earned.
Yeah.
And
You and you alone.
I made these machines. I bought them myself.
Yeah.
So bittersweet, I guess.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
I watched Soul on Christmas Day.
Yeah. I hear good things about that one. I want to take a look at that one.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, hey, free Pixar movie and getting a new Pixar movie on Christmas Day, that in itself is a Christmas gift as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
Did you say free?
Well, Disney Plus, right?
Oh, all right.
And for those who don't know, there is also a Pixar short on Disney Plus. They put it out on the same day, so you can get the full experience of watching a short first, then watching the movie. And you should do it in that order, because that's how you do it when it comes to a Pixar movie. So that was extra exciting for sure.
Sure.
But Paul, I understand you watched a few movies that are pretty noteworthy.
I guess, yeah, noteworthy. Sure. I watched Wonder Woman 84, and that's a trash fire. That's a bad movie.
Ooh, what? What?
You can't spoil that for me yet,
I
because I'm
won't.
waiting to get back stateside so that I have access to it for free with HBO. So that's like my land, go home, watch movie
Okay.
plan.
That's all I'll say about it. Maybe you'll love it. Who knows?
Did you like the first one?
I did.
Okay. Well, yeah, I've been hearing some pretty mixed things about it.
Sure. Yeah. I just think it's poorly written and just kind of stupid, but not in a fun way necessarily, just dumb. Good acting though.
Weird.
Gal Gadot's still great. Pedro Pascal's good. Kristen Wiig is half good because she does the awkward, oh, I'm Kristen Wiig character really well. Doesn't do crazy super confident power woman extraordinarily well, I would say, but that's kind of out of her wheelhouse. So
okay.
Yeah.
Do like Kristen Wiig, that's for sure.
Yeah, she's fun.
All right. Well, they've already greenlit Wonder Woman 3. So that's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I hope
Not surprising.
I hope they get it back. I like the first one quite a bit, and maybe that's why I was so disappointed with this one. Like, oh, you guys did her dirty on this one. So
I like about 80% of that first one. Once they get to the final battle, I stop really caring about that movie.
sure. Fair enough.
But that No Man's Land scene, that's awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah, I just remember what scene you're talking about. That's a between the trenches sort of thing. That is cool. I will say,
yeah,
exactly. This one, she actually uses her lasso quite a bit more. To better and worse, there's a really stupid scene with her using the lasso, which is kind of hilarious, and then some really good ones too. So there's that.
Okay.
Yeah. Doing Wonder Woman shit.
Right.
There's a cool cameo in there.
Okay, yeah, no spoilers. I'm excited to watch it this weekend, so.
Yeah. And then I watched Tenet, and I don't like that movie. It talks too much about what's happening.
I watched Tenet twice since I've been home.
Oh, weird. Okay. You
Well, I
rent it
got
or
it for
something?
Christmas, and then
Oh,
both of my parents wanted to watch it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I understand this movie now. So I definitely get Tenet after seeing it 3 times.
yeah, fair enough. I just think it's
Is that
boring.
better or worse at that point?
I like Tenet. I enjoy it. It definitely is confusing. Like I understand after one viewing, you can come out of that being frustrated. But I enjoy that movie, and I think it like a filmmaking standpoint is just really cool. With doing the backwards and forwards at the same time, I think that's a cool looking movie.
I just disagree. I think it's boring and doesn't look
Okay.
particularly great either. But yeah, I watched those. I feel like I watched something else that I don't remember because it's unmemorable. Oh, like 2 weeks ago, I watched The New Mutants as well. I didn't talk about that because it's not worth talking about.
The movie's
Yeah,
not
that
great.
was not considered good.
No,
Yeah.
no.
No, that movie's not great. And I feel
Not
bad because
shocking
that thing
there.
was like in like release hell for like
Yeah,
almost like a year and a half. It seemed like, and then it
yeah.
finally came out, and it was like all that for this. Like you really needed to get in a theater for this.
Oh,
I
no.
want to recoup some losses.
Yeah, Soul is the one that I'm like hoping will stop the funk for me of movies that came out this year that I've watched that are like mediocre at best. I'm hoping Soul is at least like a 7 or
I think
up out of
Soul's
10.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
it
it will be
looks
too.
great. It's fun. Yeah, Soul's a good time.
I think there's a baseline
Um,
quality with like
and
all Pixar stuff in general, so I would
I
be
agree.
really disappointed if it was just mediocre. I think it'll be
Yep.
fine.
And the animated short is called Burrow. If you're looking, if you need to search
Okay.
that up, so that's the one to watch as well. That's also quite good.
Okay.
Trying to
Cool.
think what else. I'm on holidays. What else have I been watching? I watched through Ted Lasso again
Okay. Why not? That's a
because I
great
was.
show.
'Cause I said to my mom, I was like, "Hey, you might enjoy this show. I think this is the best show of the year." And
Yeah.
after like 2 episodes, she was hooked.
Yeah.
Hooked. Like we would get to the point where it was like midnight, and I'm like, "All right, I'm going to bed." And she's like, "Can I stay up and keep watching?" And I'm like, "No, you gotta wait for me. What are you doing?"
It's a great show for sure.
Oh, it's so good. It is so good.
Have you seen that? I've been watching that Harley Quinn cartoon. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I talked about
Yeah.
that during the summer when it came to HBO. I'm glad you finally got a hold of it. I think that show is incredible.
That's one of the best cartoons I've seen in a long, long time. For sure.
It is super good. Kite Man is fantastic.
Kite Man is really good. I really like what they did with that dumb character. He's really good.
He's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. The writing in that
I
show
can't.
is outrageously good. It is so
Yeah,
fucking funny.
there's 2 seasons. Where are you in it?
We're done season 1. We're waiting to start season 2 this weekend, maybe.
Okay. Season 2 is really good. I will say there's my favorite episode of season 2. It involves Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
Man, that episode is so good.
Okay.
So just when they get to that one, get ready. It's very fun. But
Sure.
Kite Man is just great. He
Yeah,
says
kind
hell
of.
yeah all the time. All those characters are pretty enjoyable. That's
Yeah.
Clayface is great, and
Yeah.
they just like double down on the ridiculousness of Clayface. King Shark also great,
King Shark's
voiced by Ron
amazing.
Funches. Like perfect voice actor right there. It's
Yeah.
so good. Uh, Harley Quinn cartoon is no joke.
Yeah. It's one of the best
Remember
written things in
when
a long time.
remember when that trailer came out for that and everyone was shitting on it though because the trailer made it look awful?
Oh, I didn't know people were
I
shitting on
don't
it.
remember that. Yeah, I don't remember people shitting on it, but
Well,
maybe.
No, when the
I
trailer
It's
wasn't.
when the
definitely kind
trailer
of
came
like
out,
a
it just
different thing.
no, when the trailer came out for the show originally, it looked like an awful Family Guy ripoff. Like no one was liked
did it?
And then when the actual show dropped, they're like, "Oh, the trailer just sucked." Okay.
You know, I could see you cutting a trailer for that show. I could totally see it looking like a shitty Family Guy if you were irresponsibly cutting that a promo for that. I could see how that would happen.
I'll see if
for
I can
sure.
find that trailer just so you can see exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll watch it later.
Are you maybe the only trailer I can think of that came out like ahead of time was kind of the meta one where it was about like 2 dudes shitting on the show.
Hmm.
But that's like a scene from one of the episodes, and I actually think that scene's pretty funny as well. Because and the one guy's just like, "This sucks. Let's just watch the Snyder Cut again." And it's just like that kind of joke. It's
Yeah.
pretty good. Anyway, that show's great.
Yeah, that's a great
I mean,
film.
if we're just talking about great cartoons, I watched because you got to watch some Christmas movies. I watched Klaus again on Netflix. Holy shit, that Christmas movie is so good. That came out last year, so a lot of people won't know about Klaus. But if
Yeah.
you're looking for just like a fantastic, not only like greatly animated and looking show, but like funny and well written, look up Klaus on Netflix. One of the best Christmas movies in recent memory that I can say. So
Yeah. Good time to catch up on stuff for sure.
for sure. Well, what about you, John? What have you been up to in the last week?
Just I've been working a lot. Just been recording a lot of YouTube stuff, getting the last few streams in for the year, so I can relax tonight after the double podcast night. And I've been using my
Nice.
spare time to get through stuff for Game of the Year discussion. So hopefully I
Nice.
will have a decent list and a decent sample this year
Man,
of stuff that I will actually feel I didn't really miss out on.
I can't wait to talk. I can't wait to do the Game of the Year show. There has been so many good games this year. It was like I made a top 20 list and cut out a bunch of shit that I wanted to include. Even it was such a great year.
I haven't written down when I played yet this year, but my initial feeling was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to have 10 again, but I feel like I have that feeling every year of like, do I even have 10 games I can put on this list?
I would be surprised if you didn't.
Well, now that you have access to like Game Pass, like you got so many games right at your fingertips.
But I already have so many games
true.
at my
Actually, that's
fingertips.
True.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This is a great moment to say, if you guys are interested in our Game of the Year podcast, I think it's a week from today. That's our tentative plan.
I believe
if
we
everything
said the
goes
7th,
right.
Yeah,
January 7th. So get excited for next week's show. And if you don't know, we have a community survey that we've sent out where we're going to have specific categories pop up for community votes. So if you want to vote and kind of be a part of the Game of the Year podcast, definitely look up that link. It's on our Discord. It's on the Twitter. And submit your games of the year and your disappointed games and yada yada, all that.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is probably a good time to just do a podcast about video games, since we're kind of talking about video games.
Oh, okay.
Do the top-down perspective podcast if you wanted, unless you have a different one.
No, I'm good actually.
All right.
Good.
Well, let's do the
something
top-down
different
perspective.
today.
Okay. This is our other podcast,
He wasn't ready for the improv.
the Red Sparrow.
What?
What?
That's. Give me a better one if you can.
I can't.
Talking about tunes, where we talk about cartoons and music at the same time.
That would be kind of
All
great,
right.
actually. That'd be okay.
What's your favorite cartoon that's also the name of a song?
That's also the name of a song.
Samurai Pizza Cats, because the name of the theme song is Samurai Pizza Cats.
Sure.
That's cheating. I know.
Barely
it works.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
Are you actually answering this question? I thought we were actually going to go.
I don't.
Is there a cartoon called Fat Bottomed Girls?
Nothing we can show in public.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a video. Yeah, we can send some links around later. But anyway, now I guess we'll just have to default to the top-down perspective if everyone's okay with that.
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
It's the 31st of December episode, New Year's Eve. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
I didn't look at the lists.
Sean, what have you been playing? Because there's one game in particular I want to hear about.
All right. Well, which one? And I'll start with
the first one. It's definitely the first
one.
It's definitely the first one.
There's a new Hidden My Game by Mom game. Number 4.
Great.
Fourth one. Unbelievable.
Fourth one. Although there's been like offshoots. I don't remember their names.
Sister took my game or something. Wasn't that one of them?
That sounds like what? Something.
Or were you trying to dance with her or something? I can't remember. Sister something. And there was there's a bunch of them. I can't remember.
Don't let Dad know I'm gaming. That one.
It's like literally the same game.
Is that one?
Is that something? Is that anything? Yeah, this is Hidden My Game by Mom 4. Gotta say, it's just one of those again. It's not doing anything special.
Well, yeah.
I'm actually stuck on day 27. So if you don't know what Hidden My Game by Mom is, you're a little boy trying to play the DS, but his mom won't let him for some reason, and you have to basically, in a shitty kind of point and click adventure game, figure out how to get the DS without your mom knowing. And it can be anything from like balance so many cups of tea on your mom that she can't possibly stop you from getting the DS that's between her legs. It can also be things like just don't open the curtain because mom's behind the curtain. You can see her legs right there.
Right.
The one I'm stuck on, and they give you clues. This one, in fact, has 3 clues, but it's still not enough. It's so day 27 out of 30. There's always 30 of these little mini games. You have to make like, because it's like a word connecting puzzle. That doesn't really help. You have 4 empty boxes, and each one has an arrow beside it pointing to the next box. And then the last box is pointing to the DS. So you have to insert some items that you picked up into the boxes to get this DS. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do there. So if anyone's played the 4th Hidden My Game by Mom and is beaten 27, shoot me a message because I'm tired of being stuck on this. And when I do a Google search for Hidden My Game by Mom 4 day 27, no one's written any guides for this one yet. All the guides stopped back in 2018.
I didn't even realize there were 3 of these, let alone 4. I knew there was a second one. That was it.
There's more. Like I said, there's like a 1 or 2 offshoot ones. Like Paul was right. There's like a sister based
Yeah,
one.
so that's where you play as sister, and that's called My Brother Ate My Pudding.
Oh right. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Which
What's
that's
wrong with this
canonical
family?
in Hidden My Game by Mom 4, if you take the pudding out of the fridge, you're not going to get your game because your sister's going to come running and stop you and you get a game over. So you have to instead take the banana out of the freezer.
Right.
There's a little pro tip right there. Because if you take the banana out of the freezer and you put it in the sunlight for the window that you just opened, a fly will come in. And then if you pick up the fly and you put the fly on the game, the iguana that's in the room will attack the fly and knock the game off the fridge. That's how you get your DS.
I hate that you remember this shit. Like, it actually makes me angry.
So, anyway, this is just another one of those.
Yeah.
Nothing has really stood out to be like, this one's awesome. It's not like the best one in the. I mean, I couldn't even sit here and rank. Maybe that's enough. I'm going to say this. At one point, we should sit down and rank every Hidden My Game by Mom minigame.
I mean, only if our Patreon gets to 200 a month.
I was gonna say, I don't think I remember all of this. I don't know if I'm prepared to play through 4 games worth of Hidden My Game by Mom.
I mean, you can get through one of these games in like 30 minutes. They're super fast.
True.
Unless you get stuck. But yeah, well, 200 a month will rank every mini game from the Hidden My Game by Mom series. Oh,
this is it. This is the content our Patreons wanted. We finally figured it out.
Yeah, we cracked the code.
Anyway, so that's Hidden My Game by Mom 4. It's free. You can download it. Go do that.
Okay.
I've also played a little bit of, I think it's pronounced Morkredd.
Sure. Yeah. I saw a little bit of this, but I don't know what it is. This is with like an alien and a dude like standing on a moon together is like the cover, right?
I don't think so. This is a light and shadow based puzzle game.
Yeah, this is on Game Pass, right?
Are you thinking of Unto the End?
No. I'm thinking of this. I just remembered. They're like walking towards an orb that looks like a moon.
Okay, so that's like a light orb. So that's kind of how the game works. I played the first 2 stages, including the prologue. You control. So first off, let me just say this is a co-op game that does not have online co-op.
Beautiful. Love those.
Local only. Okay.
Yeah, that's a huge bummer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm playing this single player. Each of the characters is controlled by 1 analog stick. So
like brothers.
That's where a lot of, It's a bit like Brothers, except I'm sure there's no like mechanical reason of why that needs to happen at the end like Brothers, since you can play this local co-op.
Oh,
You would just
yeah.
split the people.
I see. Yeah.
Anyway, so you're moving these two characters around, and the whole concept is if they go into the shadows, they will die. So you have to keep them in the light. And the way you do that is you have this big orb of light you can push around. You can either push them both of you together, one of you pushes it. Most of the time you're going to be pushing it with one character while the second character is like opening doors and stuff. And then what the game does to make it difficult is it throws kind of a lot of obstacles in the way that create little like slips of shadow that will like block your path. And you also have to be careful with the two characters, because since if you think of them standing next to the orb, like if you think of like player 1 orb player 2, there'll be shadows made on the characters themselves. So you can't have one character walk in front of the other one because you'll kill your other character.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the orb itself is a little dangerous as well. So it does a lot of stuff like that, where you need to like rotate walls and stuff so that you're producing light, but you got to make sure you can like actually make a path for your characters to go through because they can't touch the shadow. It's
Sure.
pretty interesting. I'm enjoying the puzzle aspect of it. It hasn't. I've only played the first 2 stages, so I haven't seen anything amazing yet. But I like it. I would love to play this with a buddy,
Sure.
but it only has local co-op. Which is weird because it's like not even like a fast moving game. So I feel like even if there was a bit of lag, you'd be fine. But I don't know. I have no idea what the development team situation is like over there.
Sure.
Anyways, this is on Game Pass. Again, it's called Morkredd. If you like kind of puzzle games, I think it's definitely worth checking out for sure.
Cool.
And other than that, I'm still just playing Super Meat Boy Forever. I just beat that 4th boss. So
Cool.
Paul, you probably know where I'm at. How many stages are in this game?
No idea.
Infinite.
Well,
No idea.
yeah, the way that it's done, they say over 7,000. So,
Right, but I mean, I guess I should say how many worlds are in this game.
yeah, I have no idea because I haven't
How
been
far are
playing it.
you?
I haven't
Okay.
played it since. So this is where I'm going to
Okay.
jump in and just say, remember how I said I did the exact opposite? Like I literally lied and did the exact opposite of what I said I was going to do last week. I picked up Cyberpunk and was like, I'm going to 100% this. So that's what I've been working towards. I've played nothing but Cyberpunk to get it done. And by 100%, I don't mean like buy all the vehicles and do all the like useless, like help the cops like beat all these dudes or whatever. I mean like all the story stuff because I just want to see all the side story content. Most of that side stuff is better than a lot of the main stuff anyway. So I've just been literally doing nothing but gigs and side jobs for like hours upon hours this week. That's all I did.
Right on.
Yeah.
I've been dipping my toe in here and there, doing some side quests. I'm curious because there's like a hierarchy of mission types from like main to side to gig. I think there's like another thing even below gig or something like that.
Sure.
Are they all worth it, or do they get like less worth it? And can I like ignore all the gigs, or should I actually pay attention?
So
to those?
so obviously main is main. Side jobs, there's 2 types of side jobs. There's ones that are kind of like involved and have kind of a mini narrative going through them, and they usually take 2 or 3 like side jobs to like finish completely, like little mini stories going on. And then there's kind of like a one-off side job that's like you get a cool gun or something or a bunch of money after it. Those are all worth doing, all of those. And then the gigs themselves are good for like money and something to do, but they all kind of have a little story in them as well. But those little stories are like, why did this guy go crazy? And then like you find out that, oh, it's because like this corporation fucked him over and like took his family, so he went insane trying to like get revenge and like overdosed on like machinery in his head or something. Like there are mini stories like that you kind of read about, but like it's not like given to you like a story. So it's I love that shit, but I could see the argument of if I just want to see the stuff that they obviously think is more important, you would just do the side jobs and main story, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking I would do. I just wasn't sure. But good to know.
Yeah. And then somebody there decided in their infinite wisdom that vehicles that came up for sale that you could buy to add to your collection were important enough to be included in your side job list and muddy everything up, and you couldn't turn that off. So that's cool. Whoever, I'm really glad that dude exists in the world. Whoever designed that. That game's fun. That I really, really like the story stuff in it. It's just too bad it's a giant pile of shit to play through sometimes. So it's been a little bit at odds for me. But yeah, that's why I was saying I don't know about Super Meat Boy Forever. I have not touched it at all. It's literally been nothing but Cyberpunk this week.
Okay.
And without talking about spoilers, that's all I've been playing.
John.
All right. We finished up our game clearing plan for the year. So we beat 52 games in total on stream.
Nice.
So that was pretty good. We
the best one.
I have to go look at the list to see exactly what I played this year.
Oh, just off the top of your head. What was like a really great one you can think of?
Bloodstained was really fun. I was really glad to play through that.
Okay.
Like we played some. That's a tough list. That's actually the harder list, to be perfectly honest.
Okay. All right. You don't know. I'm just
probably Big Bird's Hide and Speak. Maybe, maybe Barbie and the Island Princess.
Sure, those sound like contenders.
Right on.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, we played a lot of good games. Like we only planned for 12 games for the year, and like the list is pretty good. And then we ended up playing another 40 extra ones on top of all that.
Nice.
So we did Mega Man: The Wily Wars for Genesis, which is Mega Man 1, 2, 3, and like a bonus extra game where you can use all the powers from those games, or you make your own Mega Man power set. Wario Land 4 for the Game Boy Advance. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Dust and Elysian Tale. Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah.
What the Golf. We technically didn't do a poll in July, but I ended up beating Battletoads for the NES anyways.
Okay.
Golf Story. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Alice Manus Returns. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and Aliens Infestation. So that was the actual main 12 games we did this year on stream.
Cool.
So
what's next year's gimmick?
Next year's gimmick is we're going to go through rotation. So I'm going to pick the first game. I'm going to pick a game randomly from one of the subs that they give me a list, and then I'm going to pick a game from one of the mods, and then we're going to rotate through that. So it'll be me, subs, mods, me, subs, mods so far, and just see what we clear in the year.
Okay, cool.
How long of a list do they have to give you?
All they have to do is give me one game, and the maximum length I'm asking for is like 20 to 25 hours. Theoretically, I don't want to pick a game that will take more than a month of Mondays to clear on stream.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so they could just give you the one game they want you to play, and then you have to pick one.
Yeah, so subs specifically are only allowed to pick one game. I'm like, okay, you out of all the games in my backlog that I have not beaten, what is the one game you would love to see me play? And then for mods, they get to put in a couple options, but I'm only going to pick one per mod for a bit. And then if we go through all the mods, we'll loop back.
Sure.
Oh, okay. I see. Right on.
Yeah, that is next year's plan. But for my own time this year, I beat Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I beat that late last night before.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, right on. I'm assuming that game plays a lot better now than it did when it first launched. Because I remember, Paul, do you remember how buggy that thing was?
I had weird frame rate issues, but I didn't have any bugs in the gameplay itself.
I had a bug in the gameplay, so.
Oh, lame.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get a projectile at some point that they want you to bash off of. Like you charge up, throw it, and then you bash off of it. After a certain point in the story, it stops working like that, and you have to reset your system to get it to work again.
Oh, weird.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
So this happened to you multiple times, or just like one time?
One time, thankfully, but it was after like a major story. Like basically, you get it in a certain zone. Yeah. You need it to clear the zone, and then as soon as the zone's done, the glitch kicks in. So I wanted to go back and clear up any like collectibles I missed and any map pieces I missed, and then I couldn't make any progress because they literally couldn't. The idea is like you throw the projectile, it goes up a bit and then arcs back down. The glitch makes it so it never loses momentum. It just keeps going straight. So as an
weird.
attack projectile, it's great, but as a movement projectile, it's useless. It literally can't be used for its original intention.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well, luckily there's a fix and you didn't encounter it again, so.
Yeah.
True.
That is a better Ori game.
Yeah.
But I still have a bunch of gripes about it.
Oh, that sucks.
There's more chase sequences in this game than there was in the first, and I already hated them in the first.
Is it really? I don't remember. Okay.
Yeah, there's like 6.
Really? Holy shit.
They use the chase sequence a lot, and that's like the thing they do the worst in the game.
Well, I know you get chased by the main bad guy like probably 3 times alone, right? Himself.
At least 2-3 times, and then there's the prerequisite.
There's like a sand one that you get chased by, if I remember.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Like near the end of the game, where it's like, all right, you've got 4 locations you have to go to. Almost every one of those has a chase sequence in it.
Wow, like I don't remember that.
They use it as a crutch. They use it as a crutch. I hate it because the thing with the chase sequences is, for those who have not played Ori, it's really easy to go either too fast or too slow, and then it completely loses sync and you can't make progress anymore.
Sure, because there's still like a platform.
It turns into like a runner. You need to
be the pace the game wants you to go, and the movement in Ori lets you go crazy fast and moves crazy freely.
Yeah.
And it punishes you for taking advantage of that. So like I've always hated the chase sequences, but I think I hate them more in this one.
Okay.
Also, the ending was actually a bummer. Like, I actually hated the ending. I'm like, you can't be serious.
The ending is pretty sad.
Are you saying it's sad, or are you just saying you didn't like it?
I actively hate the ending.
Bad.
I actively hate the ending.
Okay. Can you explain why without spoiling stuff?
That is tough.
I mean, if you can't, we can just move on. I'm just curious.
I don't think I can, but I'll just say, near the end of the game, I kind of called what was going to happen, and when I found out I was right, I was like, "Oh, fuck off."
Okay.
So yeah, no, I'm just upset the direction they went. I get why they went that direction, and I can definitely see people being happy about that direction, but I'm not one of them. So again, it's one of those hard things to say without just being like, here's the ending.
Sure. Yeah. No, I definitely am confused, but I would love to talk after the show.
You beat the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't want you to spoil it for listeners. So
that's fair. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought I was the only one in the show who hadn't beaten it yet.
Yeah, we can talk about it off air for sure. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, but other than that, that's really all I've been playing. Obviously, I'm still working through Picross, and I'm going to be figuring out what game to work on next for a Game of the Year discussion. So
nice.
We'll see.
Nice. Right on. All right. Got some news. This is only like barely any news is happening. I'm actually going to start with the second one. And John, you might have more insight than I do. Apparently, MagFest is dead.
I am surprised that you actually picked this one, but sure, let's talk about it. So, MagFest is the music and game festival. It's usually held in National Harbor, Maryland. It's a con that TRG, we go to constantly. We've been going there since 2011, and it's great. It's an all-day convention for like 3 days, 3 to 4 days. Like you will go there at 3 a.m. You can walk downstairs, go into the gaming room, or like listen to a concert, or go play some arcade machines. Like it's great. It's a party festival. But there's been a lot of internal turmoil over the past year, 2 years, essentially, and there's been a lot of abuse of employees and volunteers from the board of directors. So right now, there's a lot of internal turmoil as 2 sides of the board and most of the community fight over getting members of the board evicted, as the board is currently firing members that seem to be speaking up against this, and just causing a bunch of other turmoil like that. As it stands, the con was already in trouble since COVID, so it's already not happening this year in person.
Yeah.
But they fired the person who was in charge of directing their live stream for their virtual convention 2 weeks before the virtual convention. it's just an absolute disaster right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the website. It seems like there might be some kind of grassroots effort of reviving it in some with some
Yeah.
other people, but when
So
the first
that's
initial
Friends
blog
of Mag.
post, yeah, the first initial blog post made it seem like everyone who's in charge is pretty much toxic or something. So it's going to have to be kind of a whole new leadership in some way.
Yeah,
And I'm
there
sure
are
I'm
three.
simplifying
Yeah,
this.
there are 3 members of the board that are on the side of Friends of Mag that are trying to help have some change be made. But the board is 7 people, and the 7th person is the head of the board, and he's like the tiebreaker. So right now there's like a deadlock basically going on what direction to take the convention, and one direction is going to be continue what's been working and what everyone loves, and the other direction is not as good, to put it bluntly. It's a deep dive. There's a lot of documentation out there about what exactly is going on, and it's a little tricky to just sum up right now. But yeah, no,
Sure. Yeah.
it's kind of like a
Weird.
possible
What do
end of
you
an era
think
for
if you just
convention.
had to kind of guess if you think they start a new one? What do you think? Just take a ballpark.
My ballpark guess is I think, unfortunately, that the side that people are against is probably gonna take the convention down with the ship.
Yeah.
But I do also believe that as a result, people will rise up and kind of try to make the equivalent. Like I feel like
They'll make like a
the actual Magfest itself is doomed, but the spirit of that convention, that kind of convention, will live on.
Sure.
they'll make like a
Yeah.
GAM fest, like a game and music fest.
Oh my god, they probably will call it that. Oh. But yeah, I definitely feel like Magfest itself was too special of a convention to lose, and I think other people definitely feel that same way. So it will be back in some way, shape, or form, even if it takes another group rebuilding it.
Right, and I'm
Sure.
sure like the venue is probably used to this like income of money each year. They would love another convention to take that spot. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, well, they actually, that building gets a lot of business no matter what, but also Magfest, some of the conventions kind of do damage to the place, so they might be torn 50-50 on whether or not they're happy to see us back or they're sick of us.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd have to assume if they were doing that much damage, they would have said no, you can't put your convention here earlier. But I
True.
don't run venues, so I don't know. All right, let's do this second thing. This is an article on GameIndustry.biz. It's kind of just like some year-end stats for kind of video games of 2020. I thought there were some pretty interesting highlights here.
Ooh, infographic.
Yeah. If you guys kind of want to just look at them, maybe call out some stuff you find interesting. I'll start with this kind of first one. This is kind of boxed versus digital. This was collected over in October. Across the board, digital is winning. Hand over fist, like easily. They
That
have it
makes
broken
sense.
down to PC, console, and mobile. Mobile is obviously 100% digital sales. PC 98% digital. That definitely makes sense. I was surprised that console is 72% digital.
It was a year where people were told to not go out.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
still surprised it's that much.
totally.
But it makes sense to me.
Big number for sure.
Um, it's got like best-selling games in UK. FIFA's up at the top, followed by Animal Crossing. Best-selling games in the US. Top one is Black Ops Cold War, followed by Modern Warfare, which is kind of surprising to me.
Oh, that was
And
probably
then
because didn't Warzone only go free this year? I bet people were buying it to play Warzone with their friends because that blew up.
Probably.
I think Warzone has always been free. Because
Has
I
it? It
definitely
might have
checked
been.
out Warzone, and I never bought Modern Warfare. And I'm pretty sure I checked out Warzone like when it went live, because why not?
Sure.
It went through the Modern Warfare launcher though, but you just didn't have access to the other stuff.
Right.
I think Warzone has always been free, if I had to guess.
Yeah, it could be.
Then you get like Animal Crossing in third place, Madden, Last of Us Part 2. Let's see, best-selling console games in Japan: Animal Crossing, Ring Fit, Final Fantasy. trying to think, is there anything Minecraft Switch Edition? That's probably the closest thing to not a Nintendo or Sony property. Otherwise, it is all Nintendo with a bit of Sony sprinkled in there,
Sure.
which makes sense for sure. These ones are kind of interesting. So they put the most Googled searches global versus the most covered games from
Oh.
like journalist outlets and whatnot. So I'll just go with like kind of the top 3 on each. So most Googled top to top is Among Us, followed by
Makes
Fall
sense.
Guys, followed by Valorant.
Those all make sense.
Most covered, Fortnite, followed by Cyberpunk, followed by Last of Us.
Those all make sense too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just kind of interesting how different those are. You would think those
Yeah.
might be a little closer together. Most watched games on YouTube: Minecraft, Roblox, Garen Free Fire. I think we actually talked about this
We
a
talked
week
about
or
this,
two
yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Garen Free Fire is a battle royale that's very big in South America, from
Right.
what I understand. And then they have a bunch of YouTube stats, which we talked about those as well. Most discussed game on Twitter is Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I wouldn't have. It makes sense. I wouldn't have guessed it.
Sure.
Was Shadowbringers this year?
I thought that was
remember.
last year.
I don't know.
I thought it was last year too, but that
Because
also
I remember
would've
people
definitely-
saying that it was robbed. It was
yeah,
last
July
year.
2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there an expansion this year?
No.
No.
Okay. Followed by Animal Crossing and Cyberpunk. Just trying to see. The top for the mobile market, the top country for downloads for mobile games is India at 9.3 billion, almost doubling the States at 5.1 billion.
Wow.
There is a lot of info on this infographic.
This is
There's a lot of
super
info.
impressive.
I would definitely check it out. Again, this is an article over on gamesindustry.biz. If you like stats and infographics, go check that out.
Game
We just kinda
Industry
scratched the
Pets.
surface right
there
there.
we go. As featured in GameIndustry.biz's Creature Comforts column. 240 dogs, 165 cats, 11 birds, 7 rabbits, 4 tortoises, 4 hamsters, 4 fish, 22 other, which includes 3 geckos, 3 stuffed animals, 2 snakes, 2 hedgehogs, 2 guinea pigs, 2 horses, 2 iguanas, 2 chinchillas, 1 ferret, 1 snail, 1 Roomba vacuum cleaner with googly eyes, and 1 basil plant.
All right.
This is the info I need at the end of a year.
Sure. And with that, let's do some questions. If you would like to send a question in, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box.
I'll start this off
Those are all
with
great ways.
show titles.
All right.
Show titles.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so this is picking up where we left off. Looks like October 8th. True fans saw the pre-show. And I'm assuming it was an error we had going live.
Was that the one where we went live on John's channel first for like 2 minutes?
Maybe.
We did that one week.
That's either my channel we went live on or Paul's, but I think that's mine.
There was definitely one we went on John's before switching over.
I think this was around the time where I was not around as much, and it was probably on John's.
That's probably because John had to do the hosting part, so he probably forgot to switch over. So that's probably why.
I mean, John and I have both done that, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've both definitely
done that. We've both done that. But October 8th, this was around the time where I was making trips up to Edmonton regularly. So I was probably not around, and that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, okay. It was likely me.
Context: John accidentally started streaming a podcast on his channel. He corrected it, and Sean said the real fans of TDP watched that bit as well. All right. A week after, on the 15th, the rules of the Napcast. Rules of the Napcast.
I think we were all tired, and we decided we were just going to sleep instead, but we were still going to do the podcast.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
I don't remember this. October 15th. I don't
Again,
remember what
I
this
would have been exhausted this month, so yes, that probably makes sense. Context: John was a bit sleepy during the podcast. He and Sean had a dispute about whether or not he was allowed to do that.
Yeah, this
What?
would have been right after the charity marathon I did, so that checks out.
Oh, okay. A week later on
I
the
don't remember this
20th,
dispute, but okay.
Sean and John get in dispute about sleeping. October 22nd, you're going to draw Shrek's dick. What came out with something that you could draw?
There's no way I was here for that one. There's no way I was here for that one. That would definitely stick in my memory for just how ludicrous that sounds.
It's definitely, you can draw in a game
This is
of
like-
some sort, but I don't know what game would have come out around that time with a custom drawing thing.
I can't think of anything new. I know I played some like Jackbox games a month or so ago. I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
When did Jackbox 7 come out?
Around that time.
Okay.
I wasn't playing 7. I haven't played 7.
I definitely played 7 when it came out.
Okay.
And I remember there was a game where you like, it's basically TKO, but you draw wrestlers. It has to do.
Okay.
It has to be something to do with that. If that's around that time when that came out. Context. Paul was talking about Champed Up, the drawing game, in Jackbox 7. Sean remarked all the drawing games devolved to dicks. Paul said someone made Shrek, and Sean came to this conclusion. Yep.
That all checks out to me.
Yep.
See no lies here.
29th of October. The Vampire of Chocolate.
Yeah. I mean,
Is this
this is
Chocula?
cereal.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Oh, you're right. The comparing all the mascots, the cinematic universe.
Tiger. Yeah.
Okay, context, you were asked about cereal mascot battle royale. It came down to Tony the Tiger versus Count Chocula. Determined the count was weak because his vampire powers are based around chocolate. Oh, it's still funny. That's like a classic episode right there. That was a good
that's
one.
a
good
segment
episode.
for sure. Right.
Okay. Oh, I scrolled too far. All right, November 6th. Run the R-Wing through Big Ben's.
Run the R-Wing through Big Ben's?
I want to say this had something to do with Watch Dogs 3.
Okay.
Because Big Ben, and I think
Yeah.
I said, oh no, you know what this was? This was we were reimagining Star Fox, and I said, what if it was like Guy Fox?
Oh,
Star
you're right.
Fox.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it happened on the 6th of November, this episode. Yeah, you're right. Context, you were asked to change a mascot for the better or worse. Sean asked Paul to change Star Fox in order to make him worse. Teenage Guy Fox, and Sean saying this would be one of the missions. All right. The 12th of November, he's got 2 C's. Yeah, you shaking your head is
Thick?
my feeling.
I have
Yeah.
no idea. Thick with 2 C's. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, but I don't know what the fuck we would be talking about. He's got 2 C's, okay. Context, talking about how the Series X is a chonky boy, but not chonkier than the PS5. Okay, sure.
That makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah,
that's
and that
true.
checks that too. That thing's fucking massive.
Yeah.
It's never not small. You'll never get used to it.
This one's self-explanatory. 19th of November. Best strategy game or flight simulator. This is Game Awards talk.
Game Awards, yeah.
This is a weird game award category.
Context, talking about how weird Game Awards category best sim/strategy is. And the final one that we have from November 27th, crashing cars to the beat.
Burnout Rhythm Game?
That sounds correct.
Probably something. I think we had like a mashup kind of question.
Oh yeah, I think it was take a game genre or take a game series and make it a new genre.
Yeah, John had it. Someone asked what game should have a rhythm game. John wanted one for Burnout. All right, thank you for sending those in, VGC Kenny, as always. Appreciated.
All right, I can read this first question from Kevin. Podcasts have suddenly become hugely profitable, and your agent says you need to start at least 2 more weekly podcasts. What topics do you choose?
Movies is one of them.
Yeah. Movies or TV shows I could probably do because I watch like a movie a week.
I don't know. I think I'm kind of screwed here. Could do why? Because I already have 2 podcasts. Probably one would be on like music, maybe, because it would
Ooh,
give me an excuse to actually like listen to more music and stuff.
that would be cool, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other one though, what would be a second one? Collecting in general, but I feel like that's not really that good for a weekly podcast.
It could be neat, though. I would listen to
Yeah,
something like that.
I could see you doing like if you had them like kind of in seasons. Like I'm thinking kind of like The Toys Who Made Us. Have you seen that Netflix show?
Yeah.
Heard of, yeah, and I've seen
Yeah.
bit.
They'll do like a deep dive in each episode of like, hey, here's the history of like Barbie, or here's the history of Hot Wheels, or I think there was a Ninja Turtles one. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
I would definitely
And also
listen to
reminded. There's also I've been running my Pacross podcast, the Pacross Cast, which is just me playing Pacross, teach people how to play Pacross, and also just kind of chatting and chilling.
Sure.
That's a good one.
I bet I could do one on fitness.
Yep.
Yeah,
I know quite a bit about that. I bet I could definitely do that.
All right. Next one from Jirikos. Yeah, Jirikos says, what are your thoughts about the upcoming classic mode for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night? Since Paul is such a big fan of the original Castlevanias, I figured this would be right up his alley.
It is. I'm excited.
Yeah, same. Looks good.
This is my excited face.
Yeah, that's how excited he always is.
Hmm?
Did you play Curse of the Moon 1 and 2?
Did 1, and I stopped through 2. I didn't want it. Honestly, it was you saying that, like, the next chapter was literally just replaying the other stuff again. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll put that aside for now.
Yeah, the other chapters are just replaying the stuff, but, like, they're harder. So
yeah. So I put it down after that. And I liked 1 more anyway for some reason. I don't remember why.
Fair enough.
I have been wanting to go back to it for end of the year talks to see what about it.
2 is definitely the better game of the 2, but 2 almost overstays its welcome, I would argue, considering how many there's like 4 whole chapters you unlock.
Yeah. So I know we're both excited about it, and Sean could not care less, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah, this is my excited face for that game.
Yeah, fair. All right, VGC Kenny. If you were to Santa Claus, that is, kill and take the position of any holiday figure or mythological being, which one would you most want to? And which one would you be the most likely to? Most likely in the sense that, and if any of this is real, what figure would you most likely do this with?
I mean, you're saying mythological beings, so I'd just say God.
I think it would be really easy to
like
kill
Hercules
Santa Claus. So I'd probably go the easy route and just do that.
Santa's got it sort of easy in a way.
He works one night a year.
Yeah, but he has to get a lot of production to get up to that, but a lot of it's pretty automated.
Yeah.
And if we're following like
those are actual lives, those are elves. What do you mean automated? They're individual elves.
They're cogs in the machine, Sean. They're nothing.
Weren't there machines in the actual Santa Claus movies that the elves were using?
I think so, yeah.
Definitely still elves though.
Yeah. But like I'll say like the Santa Claus rules of like, you know, like after Christmas Day, like your body goes back to normal. So you get sent back to normal, and then like a month or 2 before you gotta like, you better head back up north.
I don't know what Zeus or whatever you think you could kill. I'm saying I could shoot Santa.
I'm just Zeus gets himself in trouble all the fucking time, so I'm sure he's just gonna like get hit by a car. Seriously, like think about it. Like didn't he literally turn into a goose to like have sex with one woman and then like yeah. So like
I think
nowadays, Goose would get hit by a car. Zeus would be that dumbass that would be like not paying attention where he's flying. He'd get hit by a car, and then you become the new Zeus. That's just how it is.
Okay, I actually have the answer. I would shoot Santa, and then on Christmas I would run my sleigh into Zeus, taking him out. so I would
Are you
own
just
Christmas and the
stepping
Pantheon.
up?
Yeah,
Are you just going up the hierarchical ladder?
the corporate ladder of deities.
This is like a weird, like, Kratos moving from, like, Greek mythology into Norse mythology, but you're starting with Santa.
Yo, Santa's the easiest one I think you could just take out if you needed to. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like the spirit of this question is the killing is not going to be hard. You're going to be able to do it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
'Cause, like, in Santa Claus, it wasn't hard. It was like an accident. Like, he took him out so easily.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, actually, what I don't even remember. Did he just like say like, "Hey, what are you doing up there?" And he fell? Like,
Yeah,
it's
he
been so long
fell.
since I watched the
Yep,
movie.
he slipped and just fell like 2 stories dead, body gone.
Sure. What other holiday figures are there besides Santa
Easter
Claus?
Bunny, Cupid.
Yeah, I don't want any of those.
Jesus.
I've seen
Headless
what happens to
Horseman?
Jesus. I do not want that.
Great Pumpkin,
Oh, great.
Danny
pumpkin.
Phantom.
Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom.
Jack
I'm gonna stick
Frost,
with-
Frosty.
Yeah, the groundhog from Groundhog's Day.
Ooh, good one. Yeah.
That's another good one.
All you have to do is wake up.
The New Year's baby.
Nah, fuck that baby.
But then you
The
have to be a
sucks.
baby.
Then you do have to be a baby. How about you in your birthday suit?
Are you coming
Yeah,
on
is that
to me?
anything? Is it working?
No, it's not.
Oh, we'll talk after.
Okay, after the show.
Hmm.
I think it's me next. Junkie GS writes, if you have to either only play one console for an entire year or only one game for 2 months, which would you pick and why?
Oh,
I already do the one game for 2 months thing with Pacross, so that's not that hard.
same. Yeah.
You can't play anything else though, right?
Exactly. I already do that.
Okay.
And I get to choose the game though, right? Because I would probably be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna 100% like, I don't know, World of Warcraft or something. Easy. One game for 2 months.
Something with enough content.
Or
Like Skyrim.
Pick like
Totally.
a Yakuza game or something like
Totally.
that. I think that's definitely the easier one because even if it sucks, it's just 2 months and then you're back to business. I bet you could get away with one console for a year though. Like most stuff comes out on both consoles. You wouldn't be missing much.
Yeah. Let's assume we're not cheating and saying like, oh yeah, like backwards compatible, because then I would be like computer because then there's emulators, or I would say Xbox because it's got 4 generations on it.
Yeah. I mean, PC would be my
Right,
answer.
I mean, I
but
think
I don't know. Switch. I would do the Switch for a year. That'd be easy to me.
Yeah.
I would definitely do Xbox because having Game Pass
Yeah.
Sure.
was like a must.
Sure.
And then also like I play Apex every week, so I would still want access to Apex.
I would argue any current gen console would be easy to do a
Totally.
year of just playing games on that.
Yep.
Yep.
Totally.
I would still pick the 2-month thing though. I want to get out of this weird monkey paw scenario.
Totally. I agree.
Rasterman writes in, it says, where do you see yourself in 20 years? There's a bunch more questions as well, but obviously we'll start with this one. I don't even know where I'm going to be next year. I don't know about 20 years from now.
I really hope, like, not in a home.
Still alive.
Like, yeah.
You mean like an old folks home, right?
Like, I really hope that I don't, like, have a kid and then right when they hit 18, they're just like, you're out. It's like, oh, well, all right.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, you'll be like in your 50s.
Exactly.
What fuck retirement home is going to take you in your 50s?
I don't know. I just hope I'm not in one.
Yeah. It's not too old for sure. I would hope I have a house at that point.
Yeah.
Where
20
I know
years.
I won't be living in the Bay Area though. The Bay Area is too expensive.
No, shit's
I
crazy
will definitely move out of there at some point for sure. For all I know, I might go back to Canada.
Sure.
I have no idea. I doubt I'll be in Calgary. I can say that.
Yeah, I kind of hope I'm not in Alberta. I fucking hate this place more and more. COVID has shown me that I just hate everybody here.
Yeah.
Whenever I think about, if I was to move back to Canada, it's always like, well, because of my like profession, I'll probably end up in either Vancouver
Or
or
Toronto.
Toronto.
Or Quebec or something.
Montreal is kind
Yeah.
of a hub getting up there for sure.
Yeah.
But Calgary is boring, and I don't work in business or oil, so.
Don't worry, nobody here does anymore.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
If only they invested in literally anything else. Bunch of fucking morons.
Next part of the question. What are the best and worst presents you've received on Christmas so far? The best one I can remember was a pack of top spins that I still have somewhere on the house.
Okay.
The worst one, probably a thin towel with a misspelled label. Wow, that is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. That's impressive.
Sucks.
That's really good.
It's like it's your name spelt wrong. But Mom, how did you what? I guess he's. I guess they're implying ever, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ever. I'm pretty sure I got my Game Boy Advance with a copy of some Dragon Ball Z card battling game and like Ghouls and Ghosts. That was pretty good, despite both those games being bad. But getting the Game Boy Advance was pretty good.
I don't know that I really got any gaming stuff on Christmas like ever. That's usually a birthday thing for us. I'm trying to think of stuff I've got.
I definitely have a couple bests. I'm trying to think of my worst right now.
Worst is hard because I feel like a lot of the times, if it was something that bad, my parents would be like, "Oh, well, let's return it and get you something you want." Or if it's like, "Oh, it doesn't fit you, let's return it and get you something that fits."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom this year got me a shirt for Christmas and it's not even the right size. So I'm just like, okay. Too small.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, I'm trying to think like what. So it's hard to pick the worst because it's got to be something I like held on to, but I didn't like.
Yeah.
I got a lot of gum this year. I don't eat gum though. Not sure why that was.
I mean, that's kind of a bad gift then. Honestly.
I
It is
guess.
a bad gift, yeah.
Oh, it's the thought that counts.
No, I know, and that's why I hate answering that part. Honestly.
Oh, you know
Also-
what? I think I have.
Go on.
I think I've got one for not worst, but definitely memorable because it was weird memorable.
Okay.
My uncle worked for an oil company at the time, and he sent me a little display, a little wooden display that had a bunch of like crude oil, like pre-condensed crude, in like rock form in like little capsules. So it was like a little capsule display of like oil and like coal and stuff like that. It was
Okay.
neat, but it would literally serve no purpose.
Right. Yeah. That's something I'd be like, huh, this is interesting. I'm not buying this. I don't need
Yeah.
this.
I kind of like those gifts, though. I kind of like gifts that are,
Okay.
like, interesting, but I know I wouldn't buy. Because if it's something I want, I'll just buy it. Like, that's fine.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the
Sure.
problem I have now. That's why everyone hates buying gifts for me and my family. They're just like, you don't need anything. I'm like, I know,
Yeah.
I don't. You really
I'm in
don't
a
have to.
similar boat for sure. And the other thing is, it's like, please don't buy me kind of little trinkety stuff like that. I don't have the shelf space for it. I barely
Right.
have the shelf space for my stuff. I don't have something. I don't want to put something that's just going to collect dust there, where I could put something else.
Sure.
Yeah.
My best gift, definitely, I got my Game Boy for one Christmas, the original Game Boy, and the best one has to be the year that my mom and dad got me and my sister small 13-inch CRTs to put in our rooms,
Oh, okay.
so we could actually play games and watch things without having to take over the main TV in the house.
I actually feel like I got something similar. I had got a small TV at some point, and I'm trying to remember if it was Christmas or what, for the same reason.
Yeah.
I definitely got a CRT for my birthday, which was awesome because it also came. It was a two-parter. The second part was she was going to get cable installed in my bedroom.
Ooh.
Well, so I could put the TV in my bedroom, and then I could watch stuff up there, and that was awesome. I think I may have gotten like my first HD TV. It must have been a gift. I don't remember if it was Christmas or my birthday, but I definitely got my first HD TV, just a small one as well.
Yeah.
As a gift one point, and I still have that TV. Like that's like that's my come home, and I have this TV to play stuff on TV.
Yeah, I had the TV for the longest time, and then when I moved up here for school, my dad gave me a TV that was the same make and model, but it had like a remote instead because the TV didn't have a remote. So
Okay.
I took that one
Right
with
on.
me, and I was using that one up until like 2009, 2010, when I actually had enough of a job to actually pay for a proper TV. Like I played Metal Gear Solid 4 on a 13-inch CRT. It was awful.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I did it.
Can't recommend that.
Sure.
There's a trophy for doing that in the game, right? Built
I
in.
wish.
Yeah. I do know that my mom listens to this podcast every week. So I love you, Mom. Thank you for every
What?
gift. Just keep giving me socks. I'm good.
Is
I'm
that
good with
true?
socks. She does, yeah.
Holy smokes!
And she said she was going to write in and say, I'm going to write in and ask why you never call me. It's like, don't do that.
Whoa!
She said that as I was calling her, which I do regularly.
I gotta watch my manners.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not crazy about
Meanwhile,
it.
I'm like, I'm never gonna link my mom any of my stuff.
Yeah.
Not.
I didn't link her. I don't know how she found it, but
Yeah.
there it goes.
Yeah, I feel I'm more on the John side, but I know my mom has found like the YouTube channel. And I'm like, stop going there! What are you doing?
Yeah. Just more
Quit
socks.
it!
More socks. Rinku588, what's a game you were interested in, but your co-host played it and had a negative opinion on that you passed on it? Okay, a game you were interested in, but you passed on it because one of a co-host had a negative opinion on it, is the question.
Yeah.
There's definitely something that Paul played that I was like, no, okay, that sucks, but I can't remember what.
I feel like there was one recently for me, too. I'm just kind of scrolling through what you guys have played.
I don't think I take either of your opinions seriously enough to do that.
That's totally fair.
Wow.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Wow. I don't know how to feel about this.
No, I actually don't think I've done that before, though. I'm usually, if I want to play a game, I'm going to play a game, even if people are
Sure.
telling me it's bad.
I feel like I've had the opposite, where like you guys have praised the game so much, I'm like, all right, well, I'll
You'll
look
look
into
into
it.
it. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
What the hell would it have been now? I know it was like super recent. Ugh, it's gonna drive me nuts.
Well, until you find out, Ace Viru writes in, what has been the most fun experience you've had at work? Don't worry, we won't tell your employer.
Oh, Kirby's Fighters 2. I was interested in that, and then when John was talking about it, I was like, oh, that sounds shitty, and I just forgot it existed.
Because it's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Most fun you've had at work?
I mean, this technically might work, so this is cheating, I feel.
Sure.
Which is why you've
I
never
feel like
had
I'm
fun.
almost cheating.
I never
well,
have
'cause
fun.
I have like I have an office
I hate
job,
everything.
so it's like whenever the office throws a party, that's pretty fun.
Sure.
I remember back when I worked for a sporting good company, I had to work 12 hours shifts, and like routinely they were overnight shifts.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually built up this briefcase that had a console in it, a capture card to hook up to my laptop, and a bunch of other stuff. And I would either record things for YouTube while I was at the shift, or I would just play games.
Yeah.
I literally did a charity marathon stream of an NES game from work one year. It was a train wreck because the internet was obviously, it had a bunch of blocked ports, so it wasn't really the most doable, but it worked, and it was a mess, but it was cool to just do that.
Sure. A long time ago, when I used to drive the cargo out to airplanes and stuff from the warehouse, I would regularly, me and I worked with a buddy at the time, we would just turn the sign around that says back in 15 minutes at the plane or whatever, and we would just go play at the arcade at the airport.
Just rip donuts.
Oh, yeah, okay. Rip donuts, exactly.
It's on the tarmac.
Yeah.
We have a I think it was yearly thing at CBS where they would fly out all of the other branch offices is at GameSpot, so I got to meet a lot of like the New York team and Australia team and stuff. And so during that week, we just had a big Smash Bros tournament. That was pretty fun.
Sure.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
I think this one's mine. Yeah, from Dedensky. I just found out Jingle All the Way 2 exists, releasing 18 years after the original and not featuring Arnold. What other sacrilegious sequels and remakes exist? This is true. Jingle All the Way 2, published by WWE Studios,
Oh,
stars
no.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Great.
Oh, no. What?
Yep, this is true. This is real.
I just looked
It
it
came
up.
out like 5 or 6 years ago.
Holy shit. Filmed in Fort
That's
Langley,
very
British
odd.
Columbia. Amazing.
Oof.
Oh. Well, I'm now depressed today.
Someone in the chat said most Home Alones. I'll agree with that. There's
That's
too
fair.
many of
After the
those.
second one,
I liked 3. But yeah, they got real bad. Like way, way worse.
3's with the other kid, right?
3's with the other
it's 3
kid.
onwards. It's the other kid, and then I think they eventually go back to being Kevin
They
again.
went
somehow.
back to being Kevin with his dad divorced and in a mansion. And French Stewart plays one of the original robbers. I can't remember which one. Like,
I thought French Stewart was in the third movie.
oh my god, I'm getting a
Malcolm
fucking
McDowell's
headache.
in them at some point too.
I'm getting a headache thinking about it. It's so bad. Why did they do it?
Get money.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. Jingle All the Way 2 really is the winner of that.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. Yeah. I can't think of a lot of horrible sequels that come out nowadays.
I'm just not aware of them. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. A lot of those Disney sequels for like the classic
Oh yeah,
animated
Cinderella
movies,
2 and Cinderella 3.
Oh my
yeah, those
god.
are usually pretty bad.
Apparently, Cinderella 3 is actually kind of funny.
I remember liking the Aladdin ones, but I
Return to
couldn't tell,
Far. Yeah.
couldn't tell you like anything that really happens in them. But but some of them, like, isn't there like a Pinocchio too?
Probably.
How does,
I'm
how
curious.
does that even work?
He blew my mind with Jingle All the Way too. Honestly, I had no
That's a
idea.
showstopper.
Oh, Pinocchio 2 was a canceled movie.
Oh,
Okay.
Huh.
Right on.
Why it was canceled? John Lasseter became CEO of Walt Disney Animation Studios. Disney canceled all future direct-to-video sequels in 2007. So this would have been sort of recent. Jesus.
Hunchback of Notre Dame 2 is apparently a thing.
great.
That's weird.
Here we go. This is a bigger chunk from this question as well. Sean's acute focus on a small part of 13 Sentinels where the female and male characters are naked in their mechs reminded me of people's focus when Dead or Alive 5 came out on the part of some models which allowed people to control the player's boobs with the 6-axis feature on the PS3 controller.
Right.
There's a big difference in the justification between these two examples, but the end reaction from the female presenting boobs is similar. If you were designing a game with female anthropomorphic characters, what considerations would you make regarding the presentation of these characters' breasts?
Anthropomorphic
All right, well-
characters. Okay.
Well, one thing is like that Dead or Alive 5 wasn't the first game to even have that feature. That's Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. They literally made commercials advertising this. Like that's how proud of that feature they were. It's really fucking stupid.
Right.
That's odd. Okay, well, I wouldn't do that. I don't think I would let you be able to control the boobs.
That does seem excessive, yes.
Just silly.
Unless there is unless there's a really good narrative reason, which I don't think exists, of why you can control the movement of the boobs.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me. The shows have found a way. I'm sure games could too. If you were designing a game with female anthropomorphic characters, what considerations would you make regarding the presentation of these characters' breasts? I would probably make sure all characters have some semblance of clothes, so then I don't have to make considerations. Done. Fixed. Easy.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to think
Yeah.
through it. It's like whatever considerations I'm making for the men, I'm putting the exact same thing with the women. So
Yeah.
I think that's just it. If
Just some sort of clothing option.
clothing option, you know, because they are never emphasizing really anything sexual with the men, so then I wouldn't emphasize anything sexual with the women.
I mean, they could always go the Saints Row route where it's like the sex appeal slider for women is a larger chest and hips, and for dudes it's a larger dick. So
Sure.
I think even then, I would pick one of those two, and then both genders get it.
yeah, I mean,
Sure.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, why not?
Like I think the best way to not like single something out is just put it on like across the spectrum. You know, try and make everything like as equal as possible.
Makes
Sure.
sense. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Next up, I think it's Paul.
Oh yeah. I'll read this, but I'm not gonna count it because Foxy the Kid wrote, and to be fair, what considerations in the presentation of the male characters essentially. We answered that.
Yep.
So the next question, Decoy Troy. Do you expect there to be a game based off the year 2020? Not just the things that happened, but actually set in 2020 as well. They make reference to 2020 a bunch of times in Cyberpunk 2077.
In relation to like COVID 2020?
No, like I know what he's getting at.
I think that's what they're implying.
For COVID, yeah.
I think there definitely will be because there's been TV
Probably.
shows already. Like I remember near the beginning of the pandemic, I can't remember what streaming service it was, but it was about like a romantic comedy during a pandemic, during the COVID thing. I never watched it. Also, that sitcom Superstore apparently is touching base on it this season. My friend was telling me about that. Apparently, it's kind of a mixed bag of whether it's being handled well or not.
Shocking, really.
So I think eventually you could see it being like you know, like if let's say they were setting a futuristic thing, it's like 2020 was the turning point.
Sure.
Something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Agreed.
Right. Suku writes, adulthood is no longer determined by age, but achievements you have to accomplish. What would some of these achievements be?
Able to afford a job that could buy you a house or somewhere to live.
Or you mean like get a job that is paying enough?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm trying to think of like when did you guys what happened in your guys' life where you're like, this is definitely an adult thing. I'm an adult now.
Buying a house.
Taxes.
Buying a house for sure. I can see that. Well, I definitely did taxes when I was a teenager. Like my dad was taking care of them for the most part, but I had to still pay taxes.
I assume they're more saying doing your taxes yourself instead of just taking an H&R Block or something.
Sure. I mean, I still use the TurboTax. That stuff's super easy. I think for me, not relying in any way on my parents for money anymore was a big one for me.
Yeah. That would again couple up with the job thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's like the first one you mentioned. That was a huge one for me for sure. Also, moving out of the country was big for me, but it was a few months after that where I was actually getting enough money to be on my own.
A lot of the things I can think of are just usually tied to like money because it's like, oh yeah, owning your own car, like that's definitely like a thing that an adult would probably have.
Yeah. Realistically, I don't think anybody's an adult until they have somebody in their care, though, like a child. Then it's like, okay, now I am the adult because I have to look after
I
this
feel like
thing.
the parent setting is kind of like cheating because then at that point you're absolutely forced to. unless you're just
Sure.
going to be an absolutely garbage human being.
There are those.
That's true.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I can definitely think of people older than me that don't act like adults. Yeah.
Totally. I don't feel like an adult
also-
is the answer to this, so.
I don't know. I mean, I would classify myself as an adult, though.
I mean, I am legally an adult. I don't feel like an adult.
Legally, we're all adults. It just depends
Right.
on we just act like children.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't have classified myself as an adult when I was 18, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
18's really young legally to be considered an adult. You're still a fucking moron at 18.
What's the? I'm just trying to think of other accomplishments. What's the age where you have to fight your father?
Oh, that's
Hand-to-hand
Festivus.
combat.
Probably
that's like
13.
13.
Yeah, 13.
13. There's another one.
Yeah.
And you have to bury your first body.
Yeah.
There's another one.
I mean, more joke answers, like, you should be able to cook for yourself. Like, cook your own first meal would be an achievement, rather than getting the number one.
Who doesn't cook their own first meal by the time they're like teenager?
Teenagers definitely when you kind of learn to do that.
I would hope so.
Ignoring like home ec, because like my school didn't offer home ec, but like
my school didn't offer home ec.
I learned how to make food before I moved out, because otherwise I would have been fucked when I moved out.
It's true. It also depends what you mean by meal, because if it's like I know how to put toast in the toaster, then it's like I probably did that when I was 8. You know?
Yeah, no, that's
not
cheating.
a meal.
Like, when was the first time you like cooked a chicken, or like parts of a chicken? Does that count?
A full baked chicken?
Well, no, because I haven't put like a full.
I was going to say like maybe a year ago. Like it was very recent.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't say that I've done that because Reese is a much better cook than I am, so I've no need to learn that skill. But like actual like cooking with the oven and pots and stuff, yeah, like that's not as bad.
I've definitely cooked plenty of like chicken breasts.
Sure.
Well, it's like, when was the first time you cooked chicken that wasn't in nugget form?
In nugget form. I don't know that I've ever cooked chicken nuggets at home. I think I've always just like purchased.
Oh, really?
Chicken. Yeah, because I don't think it would taste the same to me.
Oh, it definitely doesn't. No, it tastes different.
Yeah,
I love chicken nuggets, and one of the things I look forward to, and I get my parents to pick up whenever I come home, is a box of M&M's branded chicken nuggets, because we don't have M&M's in the States.
Yeah.
And oh man, are they so good, and they're decently healthy. So you guys should look into that. You guys have access to it. So.
M&M's is like the go-to for meat for sure.
Meat, that's a great store. Yep.
Hebrew Lantern says, what famous person do you really dislike for pretty much no reason or something you realize is very petty?
Ryan Reynolds. I fucking hate him and I kind of don't know why.
Okay. I don't think I have one.
I also really hate Will Ferrell, but I know why. It's because he irritates me in every film he's in. It's still petty, but I know why.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I actually have an answer to this.
Yeah, I don't think I have one either. Paul, you can share some of yours with ours. You apparently have a few.
Yeah. Sure.
All right, last question from Linebeck. What would you do differently if TDP was filmed on stage in front of a live studio audience?
I would be playing a game every week.
Yeah, that too.
Pants is a good one. I was thinking what might be kind of funny if we all wore tuxedos.
Oh, the fancy episode. Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just do that.
But if that was like that was like one of the sticks of the show, is like they're just always in tuxedos.
You just want to be our calling card now for the show from here on out?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a tuxedo.
I don't either.
Fancy people.
I have a suit. I don't have a tuxedo.
I have a tuxedo, but it's because I got married. So.
Sure.
I have a suit jacket. But with how hot it gets down in the States, I could not wear that for a lot of the shows during the summer months.
Sure.
That's fair, yeah.
All right, that does it for questions. If you would like to send in a question next week, we won't read it. But if you would like to send in a question for the following week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
I guess Ori 2.
Oh, it feels weird saying Cyberpunk, but that's all I played, so there we go.
I will say Super Meat Boy Forever.
Okay.
All right, and a couple of things to keep in mind, as mentioned at the beginning of the show. This is your last few days, I believe, for the survey. Paul, what day does that survey end? Monday, right?
Monday, yeah.
4th?
The 4th,
You have until
January
the
4th.
4th.
Yeah.
To submit your community top-down perspective game of the year survey. Again, look for links on our Discord channel or the Twitter account to find that there. Next week is our game of the year episode, so get ready for that. It'll be a ton of fun, as it always is. Call of the Sea is our January TDP Plus game. So look forward to that at the end of next month when we play through that game. And after this show, we're going to be going live for another episode of TDP Plus, where we're going to talk all about bug snacks. So get excited to listen to that. And if you want to get even more excited, the Discord now has a pets channel. So if you want to post a picture of your pet,
I
or
forgot he was going to do that.
Yeah,
want
I
to see
did
some
too.
pets that people posted, go check out the TD Pets channel within our Discord server. It's definitely worth checking out. A lot of good pets in there. There's a lot of good dogs, and then there's also pictures of cats.
John
Anyways,
does not like cats.
Cats are okay. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.